So I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst and Company. Catalyst and Company, we're a catalyst in each other's lives as well as our own. And we work at being the artists we've always wanted to be. Where's my coffee? It's really late at night, so I kind of got to be a little quiet. It's not terribly late. It's like 11:15, but I can't be loud. And behind me is a Frida that I'm working on, obviously. And she's part of that series, the 55 Frida project, that I have been working on, but I've also not gotten as far as I want to. I've been really busy. I'm really busy. I'm kind of at that moment that we've all been waiting for, where things start to take off and we start to get some traction. So I've got to stay up. I've got to get work done. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Fridas that I need to get done in the next, let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like 5 days. Because I've got to get them done in the next 5 days, or 4 days actually. Get them all done, let them dry, and then start doing the edges, because next Tuesday, August 2nd, I have a television interview. And they want me to bring Fridas with me. They want me to bring Fridas with me. So I just want to make sure that I have enough options. And it's so funny to say this, because for 10 years we've been together. We've been on this channel together. A lot of you. And it was just me hoping and praying that somebody would notice I was alive. And now I had today my second interview with a Sarasota magazine, or a Sarasota publication was posted online, was posted online. I have a really nice art review of the Frida show, the 55 Frida show, going on at Lexow Gallery. That's coming out on Friday. The writer was truly interviewing me and wanted to understand why and the ins and outs. And listening to him talk, the reporter, or the arts editor, he said to me, I don't know if I'm getting this right. And he was truly asking me questions that nobody ever thinks of asking me. So and we've talked quite a few times on the phone. He's very excited about this show. He's written a really lovely review that's incorporated into an interview. You know, it's part interview, part review, and it's outstanding. And this is the local newspaper, the Sarasota Herald Tribune, who I could not get the attention of on my own, but thankfully I have help now. And the Tribune is writing about me. A newspaper called The Observer did an okay article that came out today online. It comes out physically on Thursday. SRQ magazine, another magazine I really wanted to get into, they did a great review, actually 1 month ago today, or a nice interview. It was really just a brilliant interview. And so, Friday we've got the Herald, and then next Tuesday I'll be on ABC 7 here in Sarasota. It's just so funny to say that. But yeah, I'll be on a little show they have here. It's a morning show called Suncoast View, and they do short interviews. They're 5 to 7 minutes long, and God knows I can suck up 5 minutes with my yammering mouth. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm hoping it's something we can do again and again and again. So we've got that. We've got ABC 7 on Tuesday morning. They want me to bring artwork, supply photographs, and I'm meeting, and my friend and new manager, Stephanie Gray, is going with me because I will get overwhelmed. My tinnitus will set off. It could set off really bad, and I won't be able to hear. My stutter that I've developed the past couple years may come into play. Stephanie's going to come and smile and be petite and pretty and the little lightning bolt that she is. And we're working together. I mean, we're working together all the time on things, so it's only fair that, of course, I have her there with me. You know, a lot of times when we're, as artists, especially when we're not quite there, when we're not quite at the top, it's really hard to envision how to handle things or what it might look like when we get there. So I'll just keep coming on and sharing the experiences with people so that you can prepare yourself for your day in the sun. You know, for the interviews that I've been doing, thank God, my sister Melissa, I'm not supposed to say it, but my sister has been helping me with marketing and PR. And a few months ago, or 2 months ago, I think, maybe 3, she asked me to write an essay about what I do. And this was long before this was while I was doing the Fridas, and I had some shows going on. Actually, I've had a lot of stuff going on for months. But she had me sit down and really articulate why I do the work I do, what I do, why I do the work I do, the material that I work from. It goes on and on and on. And she helped me think about it and fine-tune it. And although I thought I knew, I thought I understood, it was hard at first to actually write it down. Then she asked me to make videos, and they're up. They're just very short videos, reiterating those points. And in doing that, she was actually preparing me. She didn't know it, I didn't know it. But she was helping to prepare me for now, where I have to do interviews on the spot, where I'm talking to people at events and shows. And let's keep in mind, I've done 18 or 19 events since February. And now I have we've got next Tuesday is the television interview. Then we have the artist talk on the 6th at Lexow Gallery that we'll be filming, and hopefully we'll have it live on YouTube. Hopefully we can get that to work. If not, we'll just videotape it. Then I've got, what do I have? Oh, Lexow Gallery closes on the 18th. We'll take the work down. I'm starting to work on my third solo show this year. This will be at Love Art Repeat Gallery. It's going to be Shade 2. So it's all the figures that we had, or most of the figures that we had at the first one, but I've already started 2 kind of bigger portraits that we're going to replace some of the other work, the work that I didn't like, we're going to replace it. I'm hoping to have probably at minimum 5 more pieces for that show. That's in October, but in September we're going to have a full-blown Frida party at Art Ovation Hotel with Stephanie Gray. So we're going to have a full-blown Frida Kahlo party. We're going to be showing Frida Kahlos. There'll be, music, culturally appropriate music, tequila. The food is probably just going to be the regular offerings that they have at Art Ovation. But when we get into October, that show is going to be a spectacle. I'm hoping to make this into a pretty well-known spectacle. Because we have so much planned for that. In terms of the content of the show that ties into another project downtown. The building actually that it's in sits on the grounds of what was a very, very popular black church that was founded and built by Reverend and Mrs. Colson. And Reverend and Mrs. Colson are buried across the street from where their church once stood, but they're in a cemetery that was adjacent to the church property, the church they built. It was part of the church, and because they were black, they weren't allowed to be buried there. So I'm going to make a spectacle out of this by taking on issues like that in a very boisterous manner. In a pretty boisterous manner, because I'm unafraid, and Sarasota has horribly racist people. If you've heard of Moms for Freedom, one of the co-founders lives here. The one who actually quoted Hitler and was very proud of it lives here. I went to a school board meeting, I think it was last week. I wore a tie. Was watched by several policemen at the meeting, but I didn't do anything but take notes because I wanted to learn about everyone. But what was spectacular was all these people in the community got up and told her what a piece of trash she is. What a piece of trash she is, and she doesn't belong here. But unfortunately, that's who Sarasota is attracting. It's actually rich white supremacists and racists and anti-LGBTQ and everything horrible. And Ron DeSantis has been using this as a testing ground for his god-awful ideas. And because of people like, what's her name, Bridget Ziegler, he's been winning, but these people won't win for long. Anywho, it's because of the writing assignment my sister gave me, the video assignment, articulating, not a little bit about Frida, but mainly the black figures that I do, or any of the paintings that I do, any of the portraits and figure work. It's really been helpful, especially now that we're here. So, my suggestion is that if you haven't sat down and really thought it through, why you're doing what you're doing, do it. And start writing about it. Give yourself a new assignment. Because it's all well and good to produce artwork, which right now I haven't had a lot of time to get done. But you have to know why. And not just know why in your head, you have to be able to articulate it. So that when you're having shows and you're talking with people, you have your talking points down. And it's really more helpful for you. I know for me, I was like, oh yeah, that's why I do that thing. That's why. So that's my big suggestion, is sit down, write down what you do, keep it short. Keep it short and then rehearse in front of the in front of the camera if you can. A camera, it doesn't matter. Just like practice, 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 and videotape yourself. Because I'm telling you, it's made a huge difference for me. So what I'm doing right now, as you can see, is this one is Frida. How can that only be 23? This is Frida number 23 out of 55. I've actually got 4 that are going to be 4 more that are going to be pretty quick to do, like this guy. And what I'm doing in here is I'm putting in the idea of applique, as I've done on several of them right now, or several recent ones. It's just the idea of applique. I'm not copying anything that's on her dress. I'm not copying, I'm just doing. I don't want to do anything exact. I want to have my own ideas. Blah, 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 blah. So I put down the basic shapes. Now I've got these little lines coming out of them, because the lines are actually the indicator that they've been sewn on, that it's embroidery or it's an applique stitched down. And what we'll do in a minute is fill in some of the colors. Like these guys are pretty flat. All these little symbols and things are very flat. This was pulled off of some Aztec carvings. I don't know what it means. This is a little bird from Aztec symbolism. There's a little figure in here, and it's fashioned after one that in a very famous photograph where she's holding it up. And that's going to tie into the next set of Frida portraits. When I get the 55 done, well, while I'm doing the 55, I'm also starting to develop a post-mortem portfolio. So they're images of items and things and that she owned and ideas that she had. So that little figure will tie into that project. So I'm put down those little pieces of string or little lines to indicate embroidery that's been stitched down. I'm kind of putting different shades of orange in and around. I'm mixing in a tiny bit of Neo McGilp, but at this stage of the game, I don't really like how the Neo McGilp is working with the canvas and the colors. It's not working well. I think I put too much aerosol down. So some of the paint just pushes around. But if you notice, I'm not worried about this, like these big spaces in between. It's just cutting in, cutting in, cutting in. So I've got some orange, probably permanent orange that I'm using, mixed with a little bit of Naples yellow. Yeah, so we've got a lot going on. It's kind of funny because I've wanted to be at the center of things for so long, and I've wanted to have some control and to be treated with respect and to be somewhat recognized. And now I go to places and people know me, and I am being treated with respect, and People aren't telling me what I should do anymore. Not right now anyway. They're asking me, what are you doing? What are you doing? I gotta tell you, it's really lovely to be able to experience that. Instead of you should paint Marvel characters on aerosol cans. I will never get over that one. And then having to hear how ungrateful I am because I don't want to do this really dumb fucking project I have no interest in. You know, it's taking that and not just being hubristic because, oh, people, you know, I go to places and people know me. Not that many people know me, but, you know, it is what it is. How do we take that and keep the ball rolling? How do we keep the attention? I've actually been watching, you know, I pay attention to really dumb stuff, like which artists around here are getting the most publicity. And I feel like Yayoi Kusama at this point because I am trolling all kinds of people and I watch how many times they've been in the paper. I listen to the ground, who, you know, how well respected are they? Are they considered real artists or are they just crafters, in my opinion, or I don't really care about anybody else's, but by other artists, how are they viewed? And like I said, I don't really care what anybody else thinks. But this is a little bit of a race. And so, like Yayoi Kusama, I want to make sure that my name is in the paper all the time. I want to make sure I'm getting seen all the time and that I don't fade from view or that I take it so seriously, you know, not seriously, but that I let it go to my ego. Because that's not going to work either. I can be very competitive when I want to be. But the nice thing is, as I'm getting attention here, I'm also able to help other people in ways that I wasn't able to, not financially yet. I mean, rent is due in a few days and I haven't figured that one out. And I need new shoes and I need a haircut really bad before I go on TV, and I can't figure out, you know, before I get this television interview. Can't quite figure out how any of that is going to happen. But at the same time, I've been lucky enough to get a new scooter, so I'm not struggling to get to events anymore. I'm not, you know, standing here sweating and crying because I might not even be able to get to it, which happened a couple weeks ago. An event that was where I was one of the people at the center of it, and I couldn't get to it. I was out front with my little scooter, and it wouldn't start. Now I don't have to worry about it. So, my friend is having, you know, my friend Rose just did her artist residency. I go to that, and I help her with stuff. Take pictures of her work and post it. Not like anybody pays attention to me on Instagram. But still, got a new scooter, help somebody. What do we do? What can I do? Can I wash your brushes for you? nice to be able to do that stuff. But too, while I was there, and I'm helping her, I met people who have seen my work. They've seen the Frida shows. So it's a really good opportunity, or Frida work at Lexow, so it's just a really good opportunity for everybody. I brought my new stickers. Gave them to a few people. It's just so nice to be on this end of things. Instead of just shaking my fist at the sky all the time. So yeah, I'm just cutting in between those little lines. And I'm making them blur a little bit. Not worrying too much. I don't even have my glasses over my eyes, so I can't really see what I'm doing. Nothing specific. Just oil paint and mineral spirits. And this is only the first layer of what's going to go in between the little lines. But anyway, I needed some company tonight, so I thought I'd turn on the camera. I have so much work to do. So much work to do, and it's gotta get done. It's gotta get done by Friday, the latest. And we do the sides. And those are gonna take, all of that crap's gonna be done by Sunday, so it has time to dry. So we're gonna be working our butt off. Oh, and another decision. Another decision I made was to start walking again. I have literally been standing here painting for hours and hours and hours every day, or pretty much at night. And then the rest of the time, I'm on my phone and I'm answering emails and calls and texts and messages. And then I have to get in front of my computer and update things and change things and answer more emails. Today I was on the computer. Oh, there was so much foolishness today. I think I spent 9 hours making corrections on one item on an interview. I actually had to keep sending in corrections, and they weren't all made. They weren't all respected, so I had to give that up, but that was 9 hours of my day. Then I had to answer a ton of emails and texts and all kinds of stuff. And about 3 o'clock, I was like, I gotta get out of here. I went for a walk. And I don't know about you, but I know I haven't been walking as much as I should at all. And I can feel my legs starting to not work because of the RSD. So I haven't been getting exercise. I've been doing all this other stuff that normal people would have an assistant for, but we're not there yet. Getting there, hopefully. Not quite there. made the decision, you know, I'm going to be on television on Tuesday. And I don't want to walk in a fat blob, which I'm going to do. But I don't want to walk in a fat blob. Or one that's having trouble walking. I don't want to present myself as being someone who is broken and incapable anymore. I want to have fun. So I got to start walking, as we should. I gotta lose some of this weight on my legs. I gotta lose, well, this isn't happening by Tuesday, obviously, but I've really gotta lose 25 pounds. I want to get back to the size I was a couple of years ago. And as we move into season here, I'm going to need more energy, and I'm going to need to feel better about me. So, good to walk. So now I'm just kind of covering the color, the aerosol color, with oil and mineral spirits and a little bit of Neo McGill. And as we move along, as I've done in other paintings that I can't show you, they're in there. They're in my bedroom slash garage slash storage room. I'll keep going over these and putting down lighter and lighter brush strokes that will indicate embroidery on this background, on all the bits in the background. It's our little man. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool time to be me. I needed some company. And I know there's probably only one person. Yep, there's no people watching right now, which is fine. It's almost a little bit better. Then I don't feel the need to perform. Oh, I wouldn't perform anyway. No, not here. Used to do that. I stopped doing that on YouTube. Yeah, so we're going to keep covering this up. Covering the aerosol up. And this is going to, actually, this green that our friend Wesley sent me, what, 7 years ago? When I was in Virginia. I've been using this a lot. Wesley, I haven't heard from you in so long. If you see this, please let me know that you're okay. And please know too that really big, you sent me this huge tube of this god-awful green. Now I use it all the time. For like 6.5 years, I kept looking at this enormous tube of, I don't even know what green it is, and now I use it all the time. You can see it in her skin color. I've used it in her blouse. Of course, it's down in her hands, and most explicitly in the embroiderer applique in the backgrounds. I have a 6-foot painting in there that I used it in quite a bit, and I can't wait to show you guys that one. That's under construction. And then I've got a 5-footer too. That one has 4 figures, 5 feet tall, 4 figures. It's Harry and Harriet Moore. They were a black couple here in Florida who founded one of the first NAACPs, and they were murdered by the Ku Klux Klan. Their home was firebombed. So I'm doing a portrait of them and their 2 children when the children were little. They were babies. And that will be going into the Love Art Repeat Shade 2 show. As well as a portrait of Zora Neale Hurston. I have to start a couple more. But Wesley, I'm using that tube all the time now. You started something, sir. Seven years after you sent it to me, you started something. Troublemaker. Now, if you're not used to doing interviews, which I'm kind of used to, but I'm also 60 years old and don't really give a crap anymore. I'm happy that I've been interviewed, but I am unfazed by people who think that they're, or try to act like, oh, this is, you're lucky to have us kind of deal. I'm all set on that one. We ran into a problem with an interview this week where there were a lot of online, I called them misunderstandings or miscommunications, but it really was just dumb. And so I spent most of today trying to correct these issues that were deeply unnecessary, but that the author had, the reporter had created. Now, a few years ago, and we were supposed to get a copy of it before it went out so that we could okay it. We didn't get it. We didn't get a copy. We didn't get to read it. It was just put online. And so I got an email, oh, it's up online, enjoy, bye. And I opened it up and I saw all these fucking stupid mistakes. Sorry. And last night I couldn't even sleep. I was so upset. Not upset, but I'm like, this is useless. We can't use it online. We cannot let anyone know that this exists because it's so horrible. I mean, the mistakes were unfathomably ridiculous. So I spent a lot of today trying to get them corrected. And in the end, they weren't all in the end, a lot of them weren't corrected, even though I sent the corrections as a copy paste. And I was talking to the writer off and on for like 9 hours today through email. Anywho, a number of years ago, seeing something like that, seeing glaring mistakes, would have just sent me into a tizzy. I would have been really, really upset and not knowing what to do and wouldn't have said anything because, whoever it is, sorry, excuse me, that reporter's in charge, and I don't want to upset the apple cart. You know, I don't care. You have to take agency if you're an artist and someone has written, a bad review doesn't matter, but getting just basic, really basic facts wrong, that's just laziness, and it's rude, and it's disrespectful, and you can't let it go. You can't let it go, because this is your life. This is my big thing tonight. This is my suggestion tonight. This is my little catalyst thing tonight. Don't let it go. Newspapers, especially small town newspapers, are really, really struggling, and they need us. They need us as content as much as we need them. Or we kind of need them for publicity. We kind of need them a lot. No, we kind of need them for validation and to repost whatever they've written. Yeah, it's validation, actually. To say, see, I'm so important, someone wrote some words about me. Ta-da, gallery, or whoever. Ta-da, see, I can exist. So don't ever be afraid of saying, yeah, this isn't right. What are they going to do? Pout? Not fix it? Okay. But you've got to be able to give it your best shot. You've got to be able to try. Because nobody else is gonna. And it's so funny because I was talking to a friend last night who, I was telling a friend really last night about it. And there's somebody that a lot of people would know. So I was telling him about it, or them about it. And I'm thinking while I'm writing, like, how do you not lose your mind when you see inept reporting or inept writing? So they were telling me stories about not just misquotes, but bizarre things that have been written about them. Like really ridiculous things that reporters have decided. So to just simply make up, which also happened in this case with me. But I suppose as we climb the ladder, that stuff's just going to happen. But especially with everything being online, you can say, look, you gotta, can we get this fixed, please? And you just do the best you can. And then at the end of the day, if it's not fixed, move on. What's the next thing? Today it's this little newspaper. Tuesday, Friday I've got another one coming out, but I already know the content of that article, and it's really good. And then Tuesday we've got a TV appearance, a television appearance. But never be afraid to stand up for yourself. Never be afraid to be perceived as impolite. Because who cares? Really. If writer hasn't shown you the respect to at least try and get it right. You gotta stand up. And last night, when the original article was posted online, apparently these dumb thing about me started popping up in people's news feeds. So I was getting messages like, "What do you mean this, and this?" And I'm like, "Nah, that I didn't say that, and no." And that's what kept me up all night was, some of my friends thought that I was, first of all, stupid for one thing I was misquoted on, and took 9 hours to get fixed. But just also, there were just things said that were absolutely inaccurate, and so we tried to fix it. Some of it we got fixed, some of it we didn't. Oh well. But don't be afraid to contact the publication, the interviewer. Oh, look at how nice that's coming out. Look at that. Although she does look doughy-eyed. Looks like she has a very fat face. The angle of the camera. But don't ever be afraid of calling a publication and saying, or emailing or whatever, and saying this is absolutely inaccurate. Because really, who cares? Who cares if the editor thinks you're rude, or who cares? So what I was doing earlier was her shawl. I had brushed on transparent earth red, and I started putting in grays and highlights. But at some point, the paint, it's just not dry enough, so I was pushing it around. So that's why we've moved to the background and doing this applique work. And I'm just doing these really basic brush strokes, using a little bit of Neo McGilp, a little bit of mineral spirits, and it's a mix of Prussian blue, which I love, and titanium white. Look at how it's pushing, the combination is pushing her face. Look at how vibrant this looks. This is just, I'm sorry, I'm really loving the colors. Pardon me while I enjoy myself. Enjoy my work. I'm a genius. God, I love painting. Yeah, so in October we've got Shade 2, and I started talking to Jay Louise about doing a Frida event out there. By the time we get to the show, we're doing the Frida party at Art Ovation Hotel downtown in September. I think it's 16th of September. by the time we get to that, I should have about 35, I don't want to do too many, but 35 to 40 Fridas. I mean, it's really not that hard. But I want to be careful not to do too many and then the project's over and I'm moving on to Miss Postmortem Frida portfolio. Anywho, we've been talking about doing an event at Blue Egg Gallery in Fort Lauderdale, J. Louise's place, Blue Egg Gallery in Fort Lauderdale, doing a Frida event out there. So I'm thinking like October. We get shade up, we do the reception there, maybe go out to Fort Lauderdale, have a Frida pop up out there. I'm just thinking out loud. Then we come back here, probably towards the end of October. We're planning an artist talk. But it's going to be an artist talk and a little bit of a historical talk. My neighbor is up. Brushes or I'll beat this shit. We need new brushes again. Anyway, so in October for Shade 2, we'll have the reception, probably mid-October, and then we're going to have an artist talk. But the artist talk isn't just going to be me. We have a historian that we're bringing in, because some of the figures are historical figures, but they're also historical figures for here in Sarasota. And so we're doing that. We'll have that live on the line on YouTube. But also, the event is going to be covered by the only reporter in the Sarasota area who covers black and African American historical, or black and African American cultural activities. So it's going to be pretty cool. Plus, she's a reporter for USA Today. And usually her articles cross from here to USA Today. So that it needs to stiffen up just a tiny bit. That green needs some time to stiffen up. This brush is just falling all over the place. Let's see. How do we look? Yeah. This I'm going to have to work on tomorrow. Getting these lines that indicate possibly embroidery. Get that, I'll have to work on that tomorrow. Eyes are slightly crossed. We don't need cross-eyed Frida. How do we uncross you? Yeah, lady. Right, you know what? We can dig into that. Alright, so we're going to take her and put her to the side, let the paint stiffen up. All the paint in here has to dry a little bit as well. Even though this is just mineral spirits mixed with the oils, it just gets, when I start applying other colors or textures down, we end up with a gray mass because it doesn't wanna, needs a nap. Paint needs a nappy. Grab this guy. I'm going to go in and do the same thing. Go in between the lines. And this is no prescribed color that I'm going in. This came out actually almost like a titanium buff. I just took a bunch of colors and mushed them together. So it's almost like a titanium buff over this gray. And instead of going like, no, I need to be gray. It needs to be gray. I just want to see what it does. Because sometimes you end up with super happy accidents, as Bob Ross used to say. know what the camera's picking up, but what I'm seeing right here is we've got this kind of darkish gray, but now with this almost titanium buff that was just a bunch of colors mixed together, it actually gives this dimension and works with the face better than the flat gray. The two different layers are really interesting. Now I just mix a bunch of other colors together and we'll see what happens. That's a little white. Well, whatever. Now we're back to the gray. Liking that as much. And this is Frida after her accident. She's actually 18 years old in this photograph, in the photograph that this is from. She looks like a child. When I first saw it, I thought it was from her polio years. Or not polio. What did she have? Yeah, polio. It's not. So she was shattered head to toe in this photograph. So her father would have taken this picture of her. As we know, he took lots of photographs of her, because he was a professional photographer from Germany. So you're on the bus, and you're thinking about, you're 18 years old, you're on a bus or trolley, you're thinking about med school, you're sitting there with your boyfriend, and then the next thing you know, you've been impaled. Life is looking sunny and fine, and your future's laid out for you, and everything's exciting and new, and then you've been impaled. And that was Frida. That was Frida. Oh, so another thing, as long as I'm standing here yammering again, I went on my website, becklaneartist.com, and I added pricing for everything. So, for all the Fridas anyway. So all the Fridas have prices on them. You can contact me or Lexow Gallery, but contact me because the Lexow Gallery is basically the Unitarian Church. I love that I'm showing at the Unitarian Church. I love it. They're very nice people, but it's, the Unitarian Church. They may not always be in. Why is her eye like that? So weird. So, if you can write me through the website, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, here, but through the website I'll see your email, or I should, and I can help you if there's something that you want. Or you have any questions on, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. I am both hoping and a little worried that when the season starts to hit here, people could start snatching up the Fridas. I want them sold. I'm not making to keep them for the rest of my life. But but then it's like, ooh, wait a minute, we were gonna do events and pop-up shows and stuff. But we'll see what happens. So far, I'm getting a lot of talkers and looky-loos. But if you have a question, please don't be afraid to ask. One thing I love about just kind of mixing a bunch of colors together and scooping it up and putting it down without, the tone and the blah blah. It's like a big surprise when I put down the brush. I go boink. It's really kind of cool. The colors and tones, and then you take it and pick it up, and like here is all white, so it looks like there's light hitting here, and it just happens to hit the right way to work with her face. Here I've got almost a Caucasian skin tone, titanium white effect. And that's working as well. That's kind of cool. Oh, now I got a blue. Oh, I blew myself. So this has been nice having some company. Actually, I don't even know if anybody's been watching. It's nice. After spending roughly 12 hours today on the computer, doing things, and still not getting it all done, it's nice to actually paint. here again, I've got that really bright spring green that Wesley sent me years ago. And I've got mixed with this weird mushy gray thing that I made. I just kind of went ugh and made. Against this purple, it's really interesting. Now keep in mind, it's probably a color theory thing that I just kind of found by mistake. I've never studied color theory. I don't really care. I don't care what the rules are, I don't care. That's really neat. Of course, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm not sure. Oh yeah, without my glasses on, this is genius. Funny how that works. These little guys here, they're a monkey stencil I made a few Fridas ago. So it's like an abstract-y devil monkey. Also kind of looks like a seahorse. It's about midnight. How's that looking? Let's see. Kind of funky, weird and great at the same time, if I do say so. Alright, I think it's time to take a break. It's been on for 80 minutes, so an hour and a half, something, I don't know, math, an hour and 20. Yeah, so I'm just gonna take a break because it's now after midnight. But anyway, thanks for keeping me company. Don't forget what I said. Bunch of stuff coming up. Go to my website to keep updated because we've got the 2 newspaper articles coming out, the review, well, we've got the article out now, the review coming up on Friday that I'm really excited about because this guy friggin' nailed it. He understood the work and he understood the Frida thing. Got it completely. Then we've got ABC, I'll be on ABC 7 Suncoast View here in Sarasota on Tuesday with my friend and manager Stephanie Gray. Then on Sunday the 6th, we're doing an artist talk at Lexow Gallery. That doors open at noon. Talk starts about 12:30, and everything ends at 1:30. So we've got that. September, I think it's 16th. We're doing a Frida Kahlo party at Art Ovation Hotel up on the roof. That information will be on my website. Then we go to get into October when we've got Shade 2 going on at Love Art Repeat and showing over at Blue Egg Gallery in Fort Lauderdale. So there's a lot going on, but go to my website, links down below, but it's becklaneartist.com. The link is down below, and you can just keep up to date. Also, if you contact us, I can put you on, well, my sister will put you on our email list, and we can keep you updated that way as well. All right, so I'm going to take a break from painting Frida. She's looking kind of cool here. Very doughy-eyed. It's funny because the angle of the camera, I think, is screwing with it. Maybe not. I don't know. All right, break time. Ciao. Carrie, if you're watching in Australia, ciao, ciao. And Carrie Kais in Colorado. Lisa, of course. Brenda, where are you? I haven't heard from you in a long time. I'm trying to think. Wesley, of course. Eric. Val, if you see this, I know that you're planning on coming in October. Pam, my friend Pam here in Florida. There's so many people who have been supportive and kind. I'm trying to remember everybody, but I'm also tired, and I have a mind like a sieve, so it goes in and comes out, and I turn off the camera and I feel horrible. But anyway, thank you for everyone for your support, and there we are. If you would like to help support Catalyst and Company, help me get a haircut before I have to go on television on Tuesday. All the links are down below, including links to PayPal, Cash App, which would help me get my hair cut, because I want to sell Frida's, but it's been a little bit, it's been a minute since we sold one. Anywho, yeah, if you'd like to help, sorry, it's after 12 o'clock. If you'd like to help support Catalyst and Company, all the links are down below, including links to TeePublic, where you can get images of my work printed on t-shirts, coffee mugs, blah, blah, blah. Patreon, where you can help supply monthly support for as little as $5 a month, and you make me super happy, even though I don't communicate very much through it. And then the other stuff, and galleries and everything are down below. All right, I'm gonna go. I really need to sit down and just take a minute. All right, ready, Carrie? Here we go. Mirror.